Doopy-doo, doopy-doo. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, this is what we've been training for. Okay. Okay, alarm off. And sun glare down. Teeth checked. Okay, light, check. Okay, take off lights initiated. Mirrors in prime position. Okay, I believe we need just a little bit more sun glare protection. And we are ready to go. Crap, I don't know what that one. Oh. Okay. So, that is good. Coat hangers are... I don't know why we have that. Okay, here we go. You know, I'm just going to leave this up to the AEGIS bots. So in AEGIS, you are controlling a team of some really cool mechs and robots. So you will have a pretty cool variety of them to select from. And you'll be using those to try and defeat your opponent. So I've went ahead and used some predetermined teams for the two players I'm going to show you. So I'm going to be using a Diane, and these are some of the team that she can have on hers. And then I'm also using Stell here. And again, these are some of the mechs that are on her side. You are also going to receive some combination mechs. So, for example, we have this one, which is the AROZ 6000. And if you can see that some of the regular basic mechs just have a single letter on them. But if you look at this one has AIS on them. So if you combine your A, your I, and your S mech, you can get this one, which is a pretty cool one. So that is pretty cool. But those are just going to go off to the side along with all the little pieces for them. So I've already went ahead and did a little bit of setup here. You'll roll a dice who gets to choose where they place their team first in your starting area. So I just went ahead and lined Diane's up all right over there. And then all the way across over here, I used Stell's and I kind of spread them out a little bit. So the game has two different phases that you will be using. So you have a recharge phase and then an action phase. So in the recharge phase, what you're going to be doing is you're going to look at all of these green cubes on all of your robots. And those green cubes are energy. So you will count up how much energy you have on all of your robots. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to put that onto your board there. So when a robot does get destroyed, it'll no longer produce any energy for you. So you go ahead and mark that onto your board. I've done that for the other player as well. Then we go on to the action phase. So in the action phase, you're going to choose a robot and you're going to activate that robot. So let's go ahead and activate a robot. So right now, I can't really attack anything, but I can start moving robots. So the very top number on each of the cards is the movement value. So that's how much that they can move. So for example, we have this ARM 777 that can move up to 4 spaces. So to move a space, it does take an energy. So my arm bot is right here, whoops, right here in the middle. So if I'm going to move that bot 4, I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and try to get around some of this terrain that we have here on the board. Then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to expend 4 energy since that's what I used. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now I'm down to 14 total energy. So you can continue to do this until you either run out of energy, all of your robots have activated, or you choose just to end your turn. So once you've used a robot, it's best to go ahead and exhaust it so that way you know you've already used that robot and you don't try to use it again. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to try to move out all of my robots and see what I can do here. So we have this GOF 100. So the GOF 100, it can move a total of 3. So let's just move him 1, 2, 3. And that will be 1, 2, 3 down to 11 energy. I'm going to go ahead and exhaust that one. And let's just say that that's all we wanted to do on our turn. Then it goes on to my opponent's turn. My opponent can move their robots as they want, but let me go ahead and get some in range for a little bit of combat. Okay, so I've set up a little bit of combat action here because these are close enough to be in combat. So we're going to say that my ARM 777 is attacking my opponent's SOL 100. So to attack, you're going to look at your card and you're going to see what you can do. So for example, to use this 35mm Gepard Buster is going to cost 2 energy to go ahead and do, and that's how many dice you get to roll. Then this symbol, with it going at an angle, means that every die that I roll must be 2, and if I succeed, I'm going to do 2 damage to that unit. And this says that it can target up to a unit that is 5 squares away, or hexes away in this game. And this is also a critical type of maneuver, so if I receive any 6s, it's going to up the damage by 1. So, first of all, it's going to cost me 2 to use. So I'm going to go ahead and 1, 2. Go ahead and expend that energy. Whoops, I went the wrong way. 1, 2. I'm sorry. I'm trying to cheat there. So go down to 9 there. And now I'm going to go ahead and take my 2 dice and I'm going to roll. So each die has to be 2 or higher for this to succeed. So I roll and I get a 2 and a 4. That is successful. And if you look here, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So that was a successful hit. So, successful hit is 2 damage total. And the SOL, if you look down here, the integrity, that's how much damage it can take. It can only take 2 damage. So, the SOL is out of the game. That is completely destroyed. And this card will get flipped over to their back side. Now, some cards have absolutely nothing on the background, but some do have some special abilities that'll still give them a little extra boost within the game. So for example, this one, you can pay the EP of an ally unit, and actions this unit gain arcing, which is a type of ability that a weapon can have. So destroy gives Stel and a little ability to use. Now, if you ever take damage, but it's not quite enough to destroy your unit, what you do is just use one of your extra die, and you'll place it on there showing you how much integrity is left on that particular unit, so that way you always keep in track your damage. Now, some of the fun of the game is this game is all about combining robots. It's actually part of the name. So if you look, AEGIS, and it says combining robot strategy game. So, well, how do you combine the robots? It is pretty simple. You will have some cards in your collection here that will have more than one letter on them, as I showed you earlier. So to make the Innate 3000, we need an I and an S robot to combine. So they have to be right next to each other on the hex board. So we have our I and our S robots here, and they are right by each other. So we can go ahead and combine them into one. So to combine them into one is you look at the new card for the new robot you're trying to create, and you're going to spend that much energy. So you're going to spend whatever their energy production is, so this amount here, so 4, 5, 6, 7. You must spend that to be able to create this robot. So we'll go over here on our board here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That almost uses all of my energy. Oh no! But we are now going to combine them. So you remove the 2 bots, or however many bots that you're combining from the board, and you will place your newly found robot in one of the spaces of one of the previous robots. Then you're going to go ahead and you're going to take their cards and you're going to stack them below the new card because they don't lose any of their abilities. So now you have this big, long, singular card that still has all of their previous abilities and previous effects, but now you have some new, pretty cool ones to use. And now you have a new energy production each turn. So that is a pretty cool way of combining your robots for this game. So the way you win in AEGIS is that all of your robots are destroyed, either you or your opponents, and the other player would win. If an opponent can no longer produce 5 or more energy at the start of their turn, so if they only have, for example, this little G guy here, and he only produces 2, and that's all they have, well, unfortunately, they can't produce enough energy to be a threat, so they are no longer in the game, so they are out. Or if for some reason a player can no longer deal damage, deal energy drain, or push or pull enemies, that is also a trigger for the end of the game. So that is some of the basics of AEGIS. That is just the pure basics because there is so much in this game. There are so many different types of robots here. I actually have a bunch more of them set out here. So there are a bunch of robots that you can choose and you can make a team for. And you can build and customize your teams however you want to. There are tons of different abilities and different strategies that you can use to try to defeat your opponents. But I just wanted to give you the basic rundown so you can get a basic feel of how AEGIS works.
This program is part of the Pathological Nerdcasters Network. Find more at pncn.rocks, where all the geeks come to play.
So as I said, that is the very bare bones basics of AEGIS. Now, I really wanted to talk about a lot more, but unfortunately I just haven't been able to get all the in-depth plays in that I really wanted to. You can play this game with 3 or 4 players. You can play it on teams, or you can play in a big giant free-for-all if you wanted to, or you can just do the basic 2-on-2, or excuse me, the 1-on-1 that I had set up here. You can build your own teams, and you can take a lot of time. You can figure out how you want to build your team as cohesively as you want to, or you can go ahead and jump in with some of the pre-made teams that they do provide for you. But this is a lot of game in a small box. If you like stuff like this, if you like tactical games, this is something that is definitely for you. It is pretty easy to do the basics of it because there's only 2 different phases of the game, so it can kind of go like that once you get into the flow and get into the rhythm of how everything works. But if this looks like something that you would enjoy, down below I'm going to have a link for their Kickstarter that is going on right now. So if you're interested, go ahead and give that a click. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and help support Cloak and Meeple. Subscribe button's right down there. Support link is right over there. Also, please remember that I am part of the Pathological Nerdcasters Network. You can go over to pncn.rocks to find out more about everybody within the network.